listen to me carefully. Can you feel it? Right now, while you're hesitating whether to stay to hear you, something was already released with your name written on it, and you're on the verge of losing it completely. It is no coincidence that you'll get here today. There is a release, financial authorized directly from heaven, specifically for you, but you treated her lightly. The Archangel, Miguel, is showing me that the clock is running, and whoever remains faithful until the end, you will receive confirmation, visible and immediate acceleration. But whoever disregards this warning today will close a door that will not return to open up so easily. Are you willing to risk your inheritance for another distraction? This message is not, he will repeat. Write this down now. No, I will refuse the deliverance of heaven. I'm speaking directly because something must awaken within you in this instant. Something that has been asleep for the worries, for the doubt, and for that exhaustion that made you think that nothing new would ever happen again in your life. But there's one truth that you can't deny. There are times when a decision, spiritual, completely changes the course of a whole story. And this message from the Archangel Michael does not come as beautiful inspiration. It comes as urgent intervention, as a clear signal that heaven is looking for you, because there is a financial release, a authorized inheritance from on high, that it is specifically named after you. Why? Even though you don't see him physically yet, spiritually, he was already liberated. He was already activated, and you're standing on that line, thin where you receive it by obedience, or you lose it by distraction. Ask yourself, honestly, how many times something inside of you he warned you not to. You will ignore this voice, that you will lend attention, that you didn't turn your back on what heaven wanted to give you, but you chose to carry on as if nothing was urgent. So, this time the Archangel Miguel is not coming to gently inspire you. He comes to insist with strength and clarity, because there is a window that was opened, and no, it will remain available forever. This is one of those moments where you decide to stay or stay away, receive or let it pass. And the most shocking thing is that it's not just about money, it is about the spiritual movement that this liberation represents for your destiny. Where there is true purpose, always there is a designated resource from heaven to back it up. And that is why the enemy, he's always going to try to get you to ignore precisely these words. Don't you be surprised if while listening to this, you start to feel pressure, distraction, thoughts that are trying to get you out, because it is a clear sign that this is real. What is at stake is not small one. This message from the Archangel Miguel carga provision, response, and correction at the same time. The sky is not, he's just handing you something. He's also untethering you from everything, that which kept you limited, of incorrect agreements, of fear, disguised as prudence, conformism, that turned off your expectation. This is a direct spiritual activation on your financial area, but also a test, invisible, of your inner disposition. Many people pray for miracles, but when heaven calls you to stay to the end in obedience, they disconnect before receiving. To continue with the message, I would like to ask your support for our channel. Help us to carry the word of heaven much more away. Support us and receive even more blessings. Just click on the button below where it says thank you and choose the option that touches your heart the most. Amen. And this is where the sky separates those who honor the voice of the Archangel Michael of those who only want benefits without compromise. You are being observed from on high at this instant, and your response to this active word or block the transfer. And while you continue here, something starts to line up. There are invisible movements happening in your favor. What I don't know, the movement is starting to give way. Where there were closed doors begin to be heard, the sound of an opening. If you are receiving this word, this is not suggestion, is positioning, spiritual. The Archangel Michael is not asking if you understand everything, is asking if you are willing to believe, although you still don't see. Maybe, recently, you felt an exhaustion, inexplicable, a discouragement that did not correspond to what you were living externally, as if something invisible was draining your expectation. That was no coincidence. The enemy tries to exhaust the faith before let the answer come. Who loses the expectation before fulfillment? He leaves just before receiving. That's why the Archangel Michael is not only announcing a release, he is reigniting within you the ability to wait with honor. There are doors that they open with anxiety and no human strength. They only open up with persistent faith, who refuses to give up. This is one of those moments where the heaven measures your response, not to condemn you, but to give you up. There are instructions that cannot be treated as an opinion. This is one of them. Heaven confronts you with love, but with urgency, because what you ignored with lightness on other occasions, today it comes back to be presented, but with a clear warning. Don't underestimate what it seems small, because the small comes from the sky, always contains transformation greater than you can imagine. While you are here, the word is activating something in your spirit, reminding you of promises that you thought that they were no longer going to be fulfilled, and at the same time revealing to you that not everything finished, that the deposit is alive, active, and that heaven has not forgotten you for a single instant. It is no coincidence that use phrases as a message from the Archangel Michael or the word of heaven in your search, because your spirit takes a while recognizing that there is something bigger moving, something that goes beyond the logic. Today the sky confirms that the feeling was real. You are standing in front to a transfer that is not symbolic. It's real, not only economic, strategic, emotional, spiritual. The heaven is positioning you for a stage where you will no longer beg for miracles, but you will walk in provision. Keep going. But this atmosphere is only active in those who honor the voice before see the result. This is where many, they miss their chance because they wait to feel something extraordinary before to believe, when in fact the sky wait for you to believe before you feel. Why? As you listen to this, something starts to change even in how you perceive the next few days. This feeling of emptiness becomes expectation. That weight you were carrying, he's starting to let go. That fear of the loss begins to break down because the word you're hearing didn't come to entertain you. He came to structure your faith. There is a huge difference between get excited and be repositioned by the honey. The Archangel Michael is not with you today. Getting excited, it's making you responsible. He's telling you with absolute clarity, then ignoring this. The word will not be without consequence. When the sky reveals something and someone does, despises, automatically closes, doors that could have been opened. Heaven works with honor, and honor, it's not emotion, it's permanence. This is the first time in a long time where the atmosphere around you changes as you just decide to stay. Do you give yourself? Does it count? You haven't even seen anything tangible yet. And there is already a movement. Inside, a strange peace, a clarity that you didn't have before. Because the word, right, always accommodates the soul. Why? Part of this transfer includes cleaning. The sky is breaking. Agreements you made out of frustration, ideas that limited your faith, thoughts that made you get used to the shortage. To receive what is coming, you must first give up what you you resigned yourself to accept as normal. The deposit is not just for your account, it is also for your mentality. The sky is not give resources to those who have already given, defeated internally. That is why this message comes with confrontation, with urgently, and with tenderness at the same time. And I want you to confirm this publicly. As a prophetic act right now, he writes, I will not close my heart to the honey. He's still here because, while you remain, new instructions are being activated. And when the time of the final call, you will have the opportunity to position yourself not only spiritually, but prophetically, in front of what the sky is delivering, making it clear which side you decide to stay. This word is not finished yet. It's just coming in to the most decisive part, where the blank obedience opens up what effort never. It could open on its own. And while you advance in this word, the sky, see if you only receive emotion momentarily, or if you really allow that. This voice of the Archangel Michael is become an address for your destination. Because behind this deposit there is movements that will not only change your economy, but also connections, decisions, doors that will be opened, or they will be closed forever. A lot of people, he loses his miracle because he wants a promise without responsibility. But the heaven does not give inheritance to those who follow, acting like nothing is in game. If you are here, it is a sign that the heaven is still giving you access. It that was closed on others has not been closed still on you. There are still mercy extended over your name. And it is no coincidence that just now the subject of the throne is financial deposit, because the enemy, he wanted to convince you that this is not, was spiritual, then to worry about resources was carnal. When in fact, when the sky releases resources, it is because it's going to position someone to purpose, expansion, and governance. The sky is not just responding to a need, he is responding to a purpose that requires provision. There are battles that don't, so stay. Stay, because the most important part is to arrive. And before the next instruction be released, I want one to, again, you activate the correct position from your spirit. He writes, no, I will refuse the Archangel's deposit, Miguel. And while this atmosphere is still open, there is something very deep happening in the spirit. Not only you're listening to a promise, you're entering a space where time is speed up, where that which seemed postponed begins to be repositioned in heavenly priority. Because it's not just about the deposit, but from the specific time in the one that heaven decides to activate what it was booked. There are times when the sky is silent to form you, and there is times like this where heaven speaks urgently because he is about to deliver. There is a radical difference between to hear a prophetic word and to be within the correct prophetic time for that word. Today you are inside the time, and that's the reason why spiritually it feels so different, so intense, so irreversible. Because the Archangel Michael is not saying such time, he's saying it's now. Many have prayed for this answer, but very few, they understand that heaven does not react to the anxiety, but to honor. You are not here by chance. You are here because something inside of you chose to stay in the middle of a generation that disconnect from the sacred with an impressive ease. You are resisting the distraction to stay in what heaven is saying. And that's exactly why the atmosphere is becoming more and more denser, more charged, more alive, because you're not just listening, you're obeying. And that obedience is starting to activate movement spiritually in your favor. Even now, the sky is blowing over places where there was stagnation. It's breaking endless waiting cycles. He is repositioning your name in conversations where you weren't before. Consider it. The deposit that you mentioned is not a simple resource. It is evidence of repositioning. Heaven is saying, I'm bringing you back to, put in a place of access. And when the heaven gives you back access, no man, you can prevent it. Do not confuse silence, human with silence from heaven. No, confound renal delay with absence of heavenly purpose. Many times the heaven is intentional in how it allows the delay to prove that when he intervenes, no one will be able to attribute the credit. What is coming for you will not be coincidence. It will be impossible to explain, not to mention the Archangel Michael. It will be too exact, too specific, too closely aligned for anyone to. You can label it a coincidence. Why? That divine precision will be the test, irrefutable, that you decided to stay, where others have retired. The atmosphere is reaching that point where the movements begin even before the eyes see it. That is why it is important that you do not let the mind distract, because the enemy knows that if waste this moment with you, there will be lost a strategic battle. He's trying to distract you because it's irrelevant. He's trying because this is momentous. If this message was not crucial for your fate, there would be no resistance. Spiritual trying to get you out of focus. It appears when something important is about to demonstrate. The strongest battle always appears just before the transfer. Always. Because the enemy knows that a person positioned at the right time, it can change entire generations. Do not ignore how your spirit is expanding in these words. You are understanding things that you didn't understand before, not because now be more intelligent, but because it was removed a spiritual veil from your eyes. Where there was confusion before, today there is understanding. Where there was doubt before, today there is certainty. That is the evidence of that this atmosphere is in real, because the Archangel Michael not only promises, he transforms as he talks. And while this happens, there are internal chains they're breaking up. Beliefs that you had limited for years are being confronted directly. That voice that I was whispering to you that you would never move forward, that it was already late, that you didn't have the necessary. Today it is being silenced by the voice of the one who has authority over every atmosphere. And I want that seal that break from one conscious, prophetic, and determinate. He writes, I will not doubt the voice of the Archangel Michael, because when you write that publicly, what you're doing is to establish a pact with that heaven is speaking, saying with your own mouth, I won't stay in the middle way. I won't log off just when the transfer is about to happen. Yes, this message is touching your heart and you want to go deeper into the revelations from heaven. I invite you to be a part of our family. God, me, protect. As a member, you will receive guidance, exclusive spiritual and messages of the Archangel Michael who are not available nowhere else. Click on the Join button below to secure your EP's spiritual coverage today. And don't forget, subscribe to the Archangel Michael sent this so that you never miss a divine message. Your progress is connected to your obedience. Pay attention to this. There are moments where the sky is not only delivering resources, is measuring reliability, because the deposit is not, reward is responsibility, and the heaven only trusts responsibility in those who obey even before see result. If you had waited evidence to obey, you wouldn't be here, but you are, and that silent act already positioned you above many, no, by comparison, but by decision. It's one of those moments where the sky, it separates the spectators from the heirs. You decide in which group stay. And though the enemy whispers that it's not so important that you can procrastinate. Heaven is saying with clarity, the moment will not be the same after. The time is now. The atmosphere will not be like this forever. There are moments where the sky opens a window that it will not be repeated with the same intensity. You are entering one of them. Don't underestimate him. Your obedience, in these minutes, he has the power to accelerating years of stagnation. And before that this second final activation arrive, there is something that heaven wants you understand deeply. This financial deposit from which he spoke is not the goal. It is the means. The heaven is not funding wishes, temporary, is funding purpose, eternal. This resource will be a sign. It will not be money without direction. It will be provision for mission. And that's the biggest honor that a human being can receive. May heaven consider his life worthy of divine investment. That is why this word, it's serious. Because heaven doesn't waste resources. He invests them where there is honor, obedience, and disposition. And while this atmosphere is intensifying, I want that you activate one last statement for this word to come into its own more determinate, not from emotion, but from the most absolute surrender. He writes, Archangel Michael can trust me. When heaven finds someone in who can be trusted, not only delivers resources, gives you access, gives you influence, gives him a spiritual key about environments that others fail to achieve, open up. Because what the sky deposits, it only remains where there is honor. And the most shocking is that heaven does not wait. Perfection. Expect readiness. He is looking for who never failed, is looking for someone who has failed. Keep being available. Keep believing. Keep responding when his voice manifests. And that's what sets you apart now. No, it's what you did before. It's what you're choosing now in this instant. Feel this. There is a change of atmosphere happening all around you, not because physically something has moved, but because spiritually your position is changing. You are coming out of a place of mental weight for an execution site, spiritual. You are no longer alone, waiting for something to happen. You're aligning yourself to manifest what is already, he was released. This type of atmosphere does not, it's emotional, it's governmental. When the sky speaks like this, it is because it is releasing decree, not just encouragement. And if you stay, this same message will begin to reorder areas that had been years in disarray. Because one word, true, not only motivates, restructures, change the way you perceive what come, change your posture, change how you talk, how you think, how you decide. Even people are going to start to treat you differently. Not because you changed of clothing, but because spiritual and emotionally there will be a change of authority over you. When the sky decides to deliver deposit, also exposes anything inside of you that isn't lined up to hold it. This moment, it's not just opportunity, it's also purification. That is why, perhaps while you listen, you feel weight, confrontation, tears that you can't explain. It is not condemnation, is adjustment. The sky is aligning your inner self to the level that he's coming. You're being cleaned up to load weight of glory, not only miracles of survival. Heaven has preserved you in processes where others would not have resisted, because I knew that your story, it was too strategic to getting an abortion out of desperation. That's why, now, instead of allowing you to load shame for how long it took, heaven, he's redeeming time. Not only you will give what seemed lost, but that will speed up what seemed out of scope. Because this deposit does not arrive as an emotional repair, it comes as prophetic activation. It does not return you to the point where you left off, pushes you to the point where you should be. What the enemy, he tried to destroy in your trust, the heaven is rebuilding it right now with solidity. The enemy did not attack your. What is coming is not something that you have to protect with anxiety. It's something that will come with heavenly backing. Visible. The sky does not only touch resources, touch wills, move hearts, open access where everything was before blocked. The deposit is not only money, is positioning and protection. Although you don't see anything physically yet, you're already feeling it. Your spirit perceives that something was activated. He moved. Something is already underway. The Archangel Michael is not preparing you for a high emotion that tomorrow will turn it off. Is preparing you for a irreversible season where you will get stuck again, where that which it used to take years now, it will flow with supernatural speed, because it will not be sustained in your strength. It will be sustained in obedience. And obedience always opens. I walk where effort is exhausted. Yes, you hold this in your strength. You will lose. If you hold him in obedience, he'll grow up. That is the difference that the heaven is setting right now. This word is not only achieving that, it's waking up that you rule. You are not waiting for provision. You are activating legacy. And the sky is not working with momentary emotions. He works with permanent decisions. What you feel moving forward inside of you is evidence that you are inside that design. In time, exactly, at the point where obedience, genuine, produces divine acceleration. That's why it's so critical that you don't allow that a random thought, a minimal distraction will make you disconnect, because you'll never be so close as it is now to seeing something move from a way so exact that you will know that this was prophetic, not emotional. The enemy does not afraid that you will hear promise, afraid that stay until activation. That's the most dangerous point for him and is the exact spot where you are now. Don't you get used to feeling this intensity? No, you think it will be the same tomorrow, because the atmosphere is sacred and transitory. It opens deeply for those who honor, but it is closed for those who procrastinate. The Archangel Michael is not urged because be afraid of losing you. It's being urgent because he knows that the enemy will try to distract you at the most critical. If you are feeling that something you wants to get out of this moment, it's not coincidentally, it is confirmation. What is for coming will not be just confirmation, spiritual. It will be tangible movement. That's why I want you to establish with your mouth a conscious pact of recognition, because this word does not, it's normal. It's not motivational. It's transfer. He writes, I will not close my praises. Spirit, to the Archangel Michael. And while you release that statement, the world, the Spirit understands that you are available, that you are not observing from the outside, but participating from inside. The sky is not looking for spectators. He is looking for heirs. Why? An heir is not one who only believes that the heaven can bless, but who understand that there is responsibility in to carry what heaven is entrusting. This atmosphere is not just about receiving relief. It's about receiving assignment. This word is not only for you, releasing a burden. He is delivering you direction, and the direction will take you away from what used to keep you tied to cycles of waiting and frustration. In the coming days, you will start to notice strange things, doors that looked dead, reactivated, people who had been distanced coming back with new attitude, conversations where they will ask if you have the ability, but when are you available? That will not be good luck, it will be fulfillment. And when happen, you will remember that it was not produced by effort, but by obedience. The obedience you are giving now is a sign that heaven needed to begin the divine execution. There are things that they were detained waiting for your yes, not with a loose mouth, but with a spirit lined up. And that one is being manifest now while you remain. That permanence is worth more than what you imagine. Before closing this phase, decisive, I want you to activate one last statement as evidence that no, you will be the one who interrupts what the sky. It's already activated. He writes, I will continue until the end with heaven. And this act of to stay, even when something in you, maybe you're tempted to slow down, it's exactly what differentiates those who they only receive promises from those who they really get compliance. Because there is a real spiritual war against every person who decides to stay longer beyond the emotional moment. The enemy, he's not afraid to inspire you for a while. What he is afraid is that you will decide to obey until the Narration final. Even when you don't understand the magnitude of what is opening up for you. Silent, sustained obedience. No, interrupted. What are you doing? Now by staying, he has more weight on the spiritual world that many desperate prayers from the past where you were distressed. Because the sky, pay attention to surrender more than noise. Why? Surrender is exactly what it is, happening now inside of you. The word is not stopping because there is still open access. And when the access is open, the sky is not scattered atmosphere. The sky deepens. Atmosphere. What's brewing right now? It is too delicate and too powerful at the same time. There is a internal reconfiguration happening. Things you allowed before don't fit anymore. With you, you are getting rid of one inferior version of yourself. Without giving yourself, it counts. The Archangel Michael is not stretching forward for excitement, but by fate. The voice of heaven never. It pushes. It always attracts. And right now there are such a strong spiritual attraction operating on you that even if you tried to disconnect something inside, you're not resisting this word since effort. You're feeling a kind of spiritual gravity that holds you back. That feeling is the evidence that you are, by design and not by chance. There are many who pray for open doors, but they don't stay at the exact moment. When the door opens in the spirit, you do. And that's why this experience, spiritual, is no longer just a promise. He is in the transfer phase. The sky. Don't wait until you understand everything to start moving. He starts to move when he sees that you don't question his voice, and you're not questioning her. You're honoring. You are prioritizing her by on top of any other distraction. I want you to feel it. There is no shadow of doubt inside of you like months ago. The voice that used to be afraid that this would end, just as before she is being silenced. Because the Holy Spirit is testifying within you that the moment is not like the others. No, you need to make an effort to feel something extraordinary. Just stay. The revelation will come with clarity, not as a confusing instruction, but as definitive address. The Archangel Michael. He's not interested in keeping you in indefinite expectation. In any ever moment, this atmosphere is going to turn from promise to address, from announcement to movement. And it won't be something that you will have to push. It will be something you will feel to flow inevitably. You will push the miracle. It will be hold the alignment. You are in the kind of obedience that cannot be pretend. There are people who try to appear to be obedient, but they are only while they are feeling excitement. You're going deeper. You're staying even when your flesh would have already dared to move. This level of honor is the level that brings legacy, not only miracles. What you are activating is not just for this month or for this season. You are activating something multi-generational. When the sky talks like that, it's not thinking only of you. He's thinking about that it will be possible through you to others. From this point on, no longer you're just listening, you're Positioning to X.